I got the ghetto grooves, guaranteed to make your shoes move to the dance floor. What you came for? Acting like you didn't know that I flow everything overnight with a big spot.
Yo, this the Takeover. This your boy Theto.
It's your boy Mac, baby.
We about to make history.
Yes, sir. We are. Look, just to give everybody a heads up, me and this guy Theto, we've been putting in work for a long time. We've been plotting this podcast for at least over a year and a half now. And when we finally pulled up to the spot today, we was like, dog, we finally made it. And then we have, everybody know who we have, and we've been promoting it for so long. We got the lovely Mia X.
But check this out. It's not, let me say it like this. This is the first interview we doing. This is the birth of the Takeover. And what other way to introduce us to the world is like a man or a human being born for the first time. Where do you come from? A woman. And what other woman to bring it to us, to bring us to the world is the Mama Mia. Hey, let's tilt the hats off to Mama Mia. Welcome, Mia.
How y'all doing?
What's up,
We
baby?
great.
We happy that we have you here. It's an honor. It's truly an honor for you to be here with us. And it's a couple things. First thing, I want to mess with you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
How you come up here and you cook all that damn food and you don't bring us
Nothing.
Nathaniel.
We've
You ain't bring us nothing.
been trolling you for a minute now. And check this out.
You're gonna make us talk second to D.
Look, I'm not even I'm gonna say I'm on a diet. And I was like, man, I know Mia gonna bring something.
Yeah.
I watched, what was that? One time she had the macaronis going and everything.
I want that gumbo. What that gumbo hitting for?
Well, I didn't cook today, y'all.
Oh.
I ain't even lie. I didn't cook today at all because I have to cook Sunday. And so I said I was going to chill out. I knew I had to be here with y'all. And so I didn't cook.
Oh, man.
So we good if we come Sunday.
All day, I say.
My cheat day, this is the thing, my cheat day is usually Saturday,
Right.
but I'm moving it on to Sunday too. We there, I'm telling you.
Seafood, macaroni, dirty rice, fried fish, and chicken.
And you actually cook all this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So when
For
when we come, we just gotta see Mia sent us here.
Yeah, y'all going to see me.
I see. All right.
I'm the
Wait.
first person you see.
With the apron on?
Most of the time.
'Cause look,
the apron and a bonnet, because you know I don't cook with my hair down.
No,
I
because
have a
when I
bonnet
see
on.
when I see the videos of you, it's like, man, what chef be in the kitchen cooking looking that good? You be like looking like 100. Like,
But I have a bonnet on my head.
yeah, but the hair, everything be straight. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't take my bonnet off until I'm finished cooking because you don't want hair in people's food that's nasty.
Okay, all right, back in the day when your grandmother was cooking in that kitchen, did she have a bonnet on?
Yeah.
Your grandmother was at home?
Yeah, a bonnet and a muumuu.
Oh, yeah, the moo-moos.
Because you don't want hair in your food.
Right?
That's nasty. You know, you would be so insulted if you get some food and somebody hair in there. That's all the way bad.
I guess that's why my mom don't have no hair. She don't cook anyway. My girl cook.
Oh man, my wife cooks for me. She's a chef herself. I'm gonna have to introduce you to her.
That's right. Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
Oh, we're gonna have a chef battle.
Let her get down with Team Whip Them Pots.
Ooh, to whip them pots. That's what I'm talking
that's
about.
my cooking squad. We 25,000 strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that wrist work.
Yeah. It's all about the wrist work, and they from all over.
That's what's up. Well, musically, who influenced you to start rapping?
You know, it was Millie Jackson, the singer.
Mm-hmm.
In 1981, she had a record called I Had to Say It. It was a rap, and she was cussing. So she influenced me to bring the cuss words into my lyrics. My grandmother cussed, and I came from a cussing household for real.
I think that's New Orleans.
But,
Straight up.
you know, the first generation of hip-hop, they did not curse.
Mm-hmm.
But the first women, it was the Funky 4+1, Chirac, and the Sequence, of course. A lot of people don't know that Angie Stone was in the sequence. She's from the first girl rap group, Funk You Right On Up, all that. That's Angie Stone. And when I heard them, actually, Cheryl the Pearl, she had a little voice like me. So I really knew I could do it once I heard her. But, yeah, it was a lot of the early people. You know, I'm 46 years old. So it was Chirac. It was the sequence. It was Millie Jackson. It was Roxanne Shante. Yeah. Most definitely. She is a dear friend of mine. It was a lot of people from the beginning. You know, they taught me that I could put the poetry that I was writing to music. And so, boom, 1984 hit, me and Manny Fresh. We was in a rap group called New York Incorporated. This guy from Queens moved to New Orleans, and he was a DJ, and he had a DJ crew. So they would throw dances at this spot called the Pentagon. It was on AP Turo, London Avenue back then. Okay. But they would throw these little DJs, and we would go. And one night they was like, "Who can rap?" And I used to go everywhere with my cousin Corey's sister Rocky, and it was like, me, you can rap, get up there. Right. So I got up there, and after that I joined their crew.
So you and Manny Fresh, y'all. How you met Fresh?
We grew up together. We've been knowing each other since we was about 7. We went all through school together. Elementary, junior high, high school.
Marina fan?
Yeah, we grew up around the corner from each other.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, he is a hard head like me.
Well, the funny thing, you said the group was called something with New York?
New York Incorporated, because the guy who started the group, he moved to New Orleans. He was from Hollis, Queens.
Okay.
And his name was Denny D. He had a cut in 1984 called My Camaro. And it did pretty well on the radio and everything. But yeah, that's what the group was called. It was him and his cousin, and then Manny and DJ Wop. And so it was New York Incorporated, and we were actually hot. We opened up for everybody. LL, Dougie Fresh, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Houdini, Salt and Pepper, LA Dream Team. Like, everybody that was popping, if they came to New Orleans, we were always the opening act.
Oh, so wait, Manny was rapping too?
He was the DJ.
Oh, so he was the DJ and you was the rap, you was the MC.
Yeah, but and he can rap.
Well,
he really can. Let me tell you, he liked to clown a lot, but he is the mastermind behind a lot of Cash Money concepts.
Oh,
because his wordplay is really, really sick. He just tries to approach it in a comedic type way, but
that's what I like about it. I like that.
But he could get down if he want.
You know they have you stated that you're from Queens,
and that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, see, let me tell you, I get so mad about that.
I was like,
I mean, like, listen, I read when people would say, "Oh yeah, well Mia is dope because she's East Coast." And then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm 7th Ward. What y'all talking about? Right. But the misconception came because of New York Incorporated, and I was the only girl in New York Incorporated, and we was opening for so many people. And I think that's where the whole mix-up came from. But I'm like, y'all never say Fresh from Queens.
Right.
Listen, I had so many arguments back in the day about that. They was like, no, only reason she's hot and she could spit, she's from New York. I'm like, man, trust me, I know. I've been following this career from back in the day. No, she's from New Orleans. No, she's from... And then here come the internet. Everybody nowadays believe everything they put on the internet. Everything. You go to your Wikipedia.
Listen, I don't even know who did that Wikipedia because I'm from the payphone beeper era.
For
so
sure.
I don't really know too much about .com, but I went on Wikipedia. It said I was the only child and I have one child. I have 2 children. I have a son and a daughter. It said I was from New York. It said a bunch of stuff, and I was like, who are they talking about, and who wrote this?
Right. Listen, when I saw it, I'm like, so anybody could, but that's the thing, anybody could edit it, I guess. And I even wanted to go up there and say, you know what? I was going to even put you from the 6th wall. I'm not going to even lie to you. I was going to let you rep up where I'm from. I was just like, forget this. Mia going to be from the 6th. But you rep the 6 a lot.
Yes, indeed. My babies say they're 76ers, you know.
For sure.
But I love the Sixth Ward. I love New Orleans, period, but I'm born and raised downtown, so there's a special place in my heart for every part of the city that is
But I try to tell people.
downtown.
That's true. But when, like, the 6th Ward and 7th Ward, we so close to each other, it's like hand in hand.
We all kin.
Right, we all kin. You might be a little lighter if you're from the 7th Ward, they say. But I'm from the 6th
No,
Ward.
but look, I'm from the 7th Ward, born and raised. I ain't like.
But every time somebody see me, and they be like, man, you must be from the 7th Ward St. Aug. I'm like, no, man, I went to Clark.
Like they know our partner Tyra is definitely from the 7th Ward.
7th Ward. Yeah, right. And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, man, I'm from the 6th Ward. It's like, no, you pass on blow. I'm like, no, man, I'm straight up to me. That's it.
Oh,
you know? And that's what I'm saying. You know, because in New Orleans, people be judging. They claim they know you from wherever you look. And that's how it comes.
Right.
My man Mac, right here, he from the 7th Ward.
Fresh from the Claiborne.
St. Anthony between Roman and Priya.
This is
Where I'm from.
This is
Right
real.
around the corner.
That's where I'm from. But yeah, I mean, I think as far as New Orleans go, people look all kind of ways because I've been spending a lot of time uptown. I've been meeting so many ladies that look like they could be from the St. Bernard, but they from the Callio, they from the Melpomene, and that's just because this city is a gumbo. You know, we so rich in culture, and everybody's kin some kind of way, and you know, my grandma used to say, this is the gumbo tribe here. And it is. So, you know, I don't feed into, like, the colorism. I know they do in other places because I've been everywhere. And they always say, in New Orleans, is it the truth that y'all had to do the paper bag test? I'm like, child, look, when you have cousins that have blue eyes all the way to cousins that's tall black or sisters and brothers, you know, growing up in the same house. My mama grew up with hazel eyes. She had a brother look like Saddam Hussein. She had another one look like Bin Laden. She had 2 chocolate ones. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the way it is in New Orleans. So, you know, it is what it is.
I get all kinds of
Yeah.
shit. My partner daddy told me I was Jewish. I said, damn, Jewish? I ain't never heard no Jewish shit before.
Now, I said they used to speak Arabic to my Uncle Wubby whenever he would go in the stores, and he would say, bruh, nah. I don't know what you're saying, bro.
Hey,
you know.
But that's a good connector. I be trying to get free gas when I'm with Mac. I'm not lying. I be like my man right here with y'all.
And look, then they start talking to me, and I be like, dog.
And I tell him to shake your head.
I really don't know.
Exactly.
We need to learn some words, and then we can get connected. We be straight.
The payback. Payback. Was that a response record?
It actually was. The Payback turned 25 this year, Mardi Gras Day.
Whoa.
That sucker still rock like you just put it out yesterday.
Yes,
Yeah, Payback turned 25. And it was a response, but it was before records was even cut. Because, you know, we used to all go to Ghost Town. We used to go to 49. We used to go to Newton's. All we had was Trigger Man. No Seratos. The DJs really was on turntables, and they was spinning that Trigger Man back and forward and spinning the brown beat. And the guys would always make records about women. And, you know, they would say, bitch, stop talking that shit. Suck a nigga dick for an outfit. Yeah, ain't nothing but a tramp. Nigga hit you from the back for a book of food stamps.
I remember that.
All that kind of stuff. And so there weren't any females grabbing a mic. And it almost felt kind of crazy to be dancing to that, even though the beats would be rocking and, you know, a lot of them had a cool flow. But I was like, ain't nobody about to make me pop for a starter. I ain't about to do none of that. So I sat at the kitchen table with my first cousins, Bunny and Mice. And they were young. And, you know, when you're young, you have a wilder side. So as I would write my punchlines, I would ask them, because I knew if they felt it, I knew that a lot of the younger girls was really going to feel it when I said it. Right. So they was like, ooh, yeah, ooh, you know. And so that's how the Payback was born. I wrote it, went to the club, put the Trigger Man on. I said it. I got a really, really good response. And we had 2 big old radios with dual cassettes. And me and Jill and my friend Cheese, we made the recording, and then we was pressing 1, 2, 3, go. And we made these cassettes and wrapped them up in clear plastic, Reynolds wrap. Right. And I would go around to the clubs and get on a mic and sing it. And then, if y'all like this song, Jill got the tapes in the bag. And so then I got approached by this guy from the West Bank and another guy from Shrewsbury, and it was like, we'll go in and let's press it because we think this record could sell. Now, I didn't think it really could, like, go far. But, I'll tell you about the payback. I met Notorious Big in the airport in Detroit. And I was so happy to meet him because Ready to Die was one of my favorite CDs. And I was talking to him about weight because it was okay for Big to be fat.
Right.
But for me, breaking out, most of the girls, you know, they were selling sex and they were selling themselves as sex symbols. But I was 200 pounds. So I was like, people, they like me and I get a good response everywhere I go. I said, but you know, by me being heavy, I'm wondering if that's going to block, you know, my commercial prospects. And he said there was a guy stationed in the Navy in Virginia, but he was from Brooklyn. And when he came back to Brooklyn, he had a black tape with a white X on it that a guy from New Orleans that was in the Navy had out there. So the record was the payback. Mm-hmm. And Big said when he heard that record and all them punchlines and all of that nasty stuff, and here's 1992, and I'm saying, you know, I want Vitadini, not Polo. I want DKNY, not Jabot. Well, he said when he got a female rapper, he was going to make her raw, and he was going to make her talk that talk. And in 1996, Lil' Kim came telling y'all about Vitadini and DKNY, but the girl from the 7th Ward had told y'all about that in 92.
It's crazy that you say that because Mac and I was talking. I said, man, Mia wrote the blueprint for a lot of stuff that's going on, and she's not getting her just due for it. I mean, we've been like, since we knew you was coming on the show, I've been freshening up on my Mia X music. And I'm listening, I'm sitting there listening. I'm Bob, I'm in the gym like doing my thing, you know. And I go to the gym, I'm not serious. I ain't no one to just throw it out. So I'm in there pumping, listening to Unladylike. And then I'm like, man, you know something? I don't want to say it. Fuck it. P a fool. I would re-put that out. Because nowadays, you would think that Unladylike can compete with anything that's out here. I'm listening and I'm like, man, Mia got balls. And it don't sound like it's in 98.
97.
It don't 97. It don't sound like that. It sounds like today. Even the I Take Your Man track. That track, I was listening to it, and I don't know why I'm listening to I Take Your Man, but I'm listening to it, right? You got me in the gym. I'm like, hold on, I can't be saying I Take Your Man. I'm like, I'm singing it. Listen, I'm like, man, Mia going off. And I was telling Mac, I said, and it's like Mia be slick talking almost. I was like, she took somebody's man. Right. I said, man, listen.
No. First, when we were listening to the album, we was like, you know, like I said, we was freshening up. And we was like, not that we knew you had bars, but listening to it again and this time, we was like, Mia can fucking run circles around these rappers right now. And then I'm looking at, so I look at my phone, it pops up your album cover. I said, damn, Mia look like Griselda Blanco on there. Like, cause I saw a video where somebody came try to give you some boxing, you smack that shit out their hand. And I was like, I said, man, Mia gangster for real.
That was bitchy, right? Gangsta Boo in the chat.
Right, yeah, it sure was. And I was like, I said, you know, you set this tone for rappers and, you know, for female rappers. Like, you didn't have to sell sex. You ain't have to have your ass out. You ain't have to have your breasts out. You ain't have to do any of that. You was just being you, and you was the mama. You know what I'm saying? And that right there is just. I wish female rappers go back to what you started, because I mean, I'm pretty sure you was the real mama to all the dudes under you, like Fiends, the Max,
right.
the C Murders, the Silk Shockers. Even though, you know, I know you was still the mama.
Yeah.
Over all those.
Yeah, but you know what? See, for me, I didn't really want an image, and that's what happens with not just female artists, but artists in general. You know, the labels end up packaging them. And I just wanted to be what people knew, what they could relate to. You know, you have a wife, a mama, an aunt, a sister, a cousin, and I remind you of her by what I say, by how I carry myself. So I didn't allow myself to be packaged, because the labels came and they said that they thought I was very attractive, and if I got a tummy tuck, that I probably could really, really like sell records and get endorsements, you know, with clothing companies and things of that nature. But I didn't want to get a tummy tuck. I'm not one, you know, for the whole plastic surgery thing. That's just not me. And so I was like, well, I think I look like a lot of people's family members. Right. And even though when we all, you know, line up together, everybody else kind of look a little more sparkly, I always stood out because I was somebody you could connect to. And so that's the way it was with me. You know, I was like, I will put them shoes on to take the picture, and then I'm going to take them off and put my slippers on because my feet hurt. I'm not about to be stunting like this, y'all. I'm not running the way fast as my music is. I'm not about to put on those 6-inch heels and break my ankle, you know, with some soldier music. So I just felt like this is my lane. And I had to be okay with it, and I'm still okay with it. And I didn't want to be as popular as everybody else, because when I came home, I wanted to be with my same friends and my same cousins. And so I didn't go to all of the different industry stuff, and I didn't try to rub elbows with everybody that was in the industry, because I love the people that I still love to this day because they love me. Yeah. You know, so I sold sex because I talked about sex, because regular girls have sex too, and, you know, regular girls get money all kind of ways too, but I didn't make it where you was going to tell me that we going to do this shoot, and because men like breasts and you got a 40 double D, you need to pull your breasts out. You know, because check this out. I feel like certain things is for the person that you're in love with. And other things can be for everybody. So my words was for everybody, but myself was for me, you know. So I wasn't popular, and people think that I didn't get my just due. They think that I'm underrated because I wasn't winning the popularity contest. But see, 20 years, my Good Girl Gone Bad turned 20 in 2015. I still sell out spots, even though I'm not one of the most popular ones. And you probably don't remember none of my videos, but they remember my music, so they buy the tickets and they come see me in concert to this day. So I'm not underrated. I just wasn't allowed to be put on that pedestal and then drop down, or, you know, how they build you up to tear you down. I didn't allow myself to get on that level. And
you well respected, because, like, you think at the age of 40, Lil' Kim was throwing a bikini. I'm not dissing Lil' Kim. And bust her legs wide open. That's not,
I don't know. Lil' Kim still wear bikinis. I don't know. Is she 40 or is she 38? She's something. She one of those ages now.
I don't see no wrinkled lips. I'm just telling you.
I don't know if the lips get wrinkled at 40. I can't even say that. I mean, you know, I just think though, we do mature, you know, with each album. It don't even have to be decades. You mature from one album to the next, because by the time I did Mama Drama, I felt so different. than how I felt with Good Girl Gone Bad and Unladylike. When I listen to Good Girl Gone Bad, sometimes I cringe. I be like, oh, Lord, that girl was out of her mind, you know? But that's my 46 looking at my 25. Or when I hear Payback, my 46 listening to my 22. You know, you just grow. You think differently. You feel differently. And it's not that you lose your gangster. You just become wiser and a little more relaxed, and you start looking at the whole picture versus when you young and you in it, you head first. So Kim was 19 years old and bust her legs wide open. And Foxy was 17 when she dropped Il Nana. Like I was 22 when I dropped Payback. And you just be on another time zone, you know.
Right. You know how to handle yourself. And that's the thing. I was Mac and I was talking, and I was like, man, Jay wrote a lot of stuff for Foxy. Big wrote a lot of stuff for Kim. Nobody wrote for Mia.
Mia wrote for people.
Thank you. And I try to tell people. I say that's what I like. I say, and know why you say you didn't get your just due because they wanted sex to sell. My thing was, I think they were sleeping on the South. And
yes.
And you listen on that the song You Don't Want to Go to War, when you say you the only one could spit, you hold your own with a gang of men. Mm-hmm. And I tilt my hat and I say, that's true. Listen, everything she spit is true because you was the only one writing your own raps. You probably was writing the other raps too. And I was telling him.
You know P wasn't writing them.
You know what? Let me say this about P though. One thing P really know how to do, he can just go in the booth and he would say, plug me up. And he didn't write the raps. A lot of things he just recited, just it was just a feeling. Right. And so then, we could help him polish things up, but he really did the things that I hear certain rappers say that they do not. Oh, I don't write, I just go in the booth. Percy really did do that. He really did go in the booth and just say it, and it was grimy, and it was gutter, and it was ignorant, but it was off the top of his head. I have to say that because I hear a lot of people now, and they say, I don't write. But let me tell you something. Unless you're in a battle, it's kind of hard to put words together with a complexity that makes a lot of sense and also makes people from every educational background be able to feel. So a lot of times when I hear people say that, I be like, all right, now if you're battling, that's different because you can look at things on people and figure out what you're going to pick out and cue in on one word that's going to constantly help your rhyme just go. But as far as like storytelling and things like that, you have to grab your pad and you have to think about it because you want the person to see what it is you're saying. I see a lot of people, they write on their phones. Now, I can't do that. I still have notebooks on top of notebooks. Right. I'm a pen and a pad girl, and I like to ponder and think about it and make sure that when I say it, y'all see it and y'all feel it, So even now when I listen to a lot of stuff, it's a way that they singing now on the records. I don't really know what they're saying because it almost sounds like another language. But I know the beat is catchy enough for you to vibe to. I don't really know.
That's what they're selling nowadays, sound.
But guess what? The younger kids, they feel it and they hear it. And that's just like we were able to feel and hear Mystical as fast as he was going. With every generation, things change, and then they kind of come back to being the same. Like with hairstyles, right. Your dads might say, oh, man, we wore that hairstyle. We got our hair cut like that back in 64. And you're like, yeah. Or your mom will say, we had that. That was called the page boy, though. Things just come back around. But with every generation, the music gets a little different because first generation hip-hop, when you think of Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five and Curtis Blow and them, and then when you think about second generation, Ghetto Boys and NWA, you see the difference in the way the music was,
Right.
because Grandmaster Flash and them, they gave you a lot of life stuff and they gave you a lot of party stuff, and so did Curtis Blow. But then Ghetto Boys and NWA came and just Cool G Rap, they just like put it in your face, and it was just hardcore with cursing and everything. And then the third generation, myself and TRU, we were really, really, really in your face, because each generation gets a little more aggressive and a little more fearless in how they say things. The only thing I don't like about this generation right now is it's a lot of dope fiends. You know,
right.
that's the thing that I don't like.
Right.
Because it's like everybody is peddling, let's take a pill or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what did he say?
It's like that, it's like that will buck them up to.
They just singing
Say
about it,
anything.
and I got a handful of Zambars. And I'm like, wait, what? Wait, y'all serious? You know, whereas I didn't never want to sing about taking. I wasn't taking no drugs. So I don't know if they really taking them or if they just singing about that because that's the hip thing to do. But that's the only thing that kind of throw me off with like the music of today. It just seemed like it's a lot of dope fiends with record deals, and I don't see how that's gonna be smart, like fiscally smart, and for the long haul. Because if you're buying a lot of pills and you're using them, then you're not gonna have this money, and you're selling millions and making hundreds of millions for people who probably don't even like music, but their great-grandchildren will benefit off it. So that's the only thing. You know, when I talk to the young people, I just try to tell them, well, wait a minute, don't just take all the drugs on a song and have all your audience on the drugs, because then they're going to love the drugs so much they're not going to buy a ticket to your concert.
You know, you just exposed a lot of them, because they claim they're drug dealers, and in the game, what the rule number one, don't get high off your own
Who is
supply.
about to be on drugs like that?
Yeah, who want a man talk about, I'm going to give you the dope dick? You know?
I know.
Yeah,
like,
you know,
boy,
like-
you better take your ass to the clinic somewhere.
Right. You know, you want a man that's going to stand up in it and, you know, and do your thing. And everybody won't be loaded and blah, blah.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. So some of the records, I don't really understand them, but I like the music. I think we have some really, really talented producers out right now, because a lot of the beats are, like, incredible. And I be
Right.
sitting down saying, baby, if I had that beat when I was still doing it. You know, I really like a lot of the music. I like a lot of the hooks. But I'm an old head. I'm born in 1970, so I don't think they expect me to get it, and I honestly don't get it.
You not old, trust me, because I'm right behind you. I'm on your heels.
But
And
I
this-
mean, I'm talking about as far as music, because well, I'm older than the first rap record.
Okay.
So with that being said, my influences really didn't have a whole lot to do with hip hop, because hip hop was just the newborn baby.
Right.
So, you know, I feel different. I tell my partner Tyra all the time, we hear different records. I say, oh, girl, they don't make people like that no more. You know, when I hear Marvin Gaye.
Right. No, they don't.
When
They don't.
we listened to Luther yesterday, and I was like, they don't make people like that no more. You know, so I just hope that whatever the artists are doing right now, that it helps them in the long run. I want them to be able to work 20 years after they record, and I want them to be stable 20 years after they record, because I have a genuine concern for hip-hop artists. You know, I have a concern. I know what it's like to sell a lot of records, and I know what it's like to watch other people benefit off of those records. So I'm really not one of the artists that just diss the new guys, because I look at them as my children. My own son is in the game right now, and I look at a lot of the artists, and I'm like, damn, he is young enough to really be my kid, or she is young enough to be my kid. So I'm not against them at all. I really am rooting for them. But sometimes I'm harsh when I'm talking to them, because I just don't want them to make an absolute fool of themselves or the money that they bringing in. Like, I don't want them to buy a whole bunch of thousands and thousands of dollars worth of fake jewelry, and they ain't gonna be able to do nothing with that. On top of taking pills. Come on now, stop.
You're very good at inspiring. Because I was at the NOLA Hip Hop Awards in 2013, and you did a whole freestyle about y'all better basically watch what y'all doing out here, from contracts to what you said, they strong arming them with a pen and a paper.
Paper and pen and strong arm you.
And that's good that you giving that insight, because you have been in the game, but you saying you listen to these beats and listen to these new artists, and you say, man, what you'll do to that beat. Is anybody new inspiring you to want to rap again or put out anything new?
Yeah, I actually did a record with 3D Nati. We did a couple of records, but we did a record a few months ago because I really, really love her as an individual.
She dope.
And she is going against the grain, and she makes me feel the way I felt. And I'm also about to do a record with Dej Loaf. I like her too because she's going against the grain as well. People who just make the records that they want to make because they want to make them, I like that. And I like to hear an artist and you go, who is that, versus everybody with this same flow. I don't like that. Right. And that's the problem with a lot of records now. All of them have the exact same flow. So there was one record came out, and I was trying to dab, but it wasn't a dab. There wasn't even a dab. It was wait, this way you jump like Jordan or something? I don't know. Jumpman. Well, I thought that was dab.
Come on.
Because
but you can still dab if you got rhythm. You could.
But I thought it was the actual record dab, and I kept. Nati was in the bar with me, and I say, "When we gonna dab?" And she started laughing. She say, "Mom, that ain't dab." I say, "Oh, okay." But a lot of people have that same flow. Nati approaches the beat exactly the way she wants to approach it.
Right. I don't think they give her a just due because she's from New Orleans.
But, let me tell you something. She needs more than a just due because she is also the writer, the shooter, and the director of her own videos.
Yeah, she does it all.
You got to hook us up with her.
Yeah. You definitely need to fool with Nati. But on top of that, she is a lyricist, and she has a brilliant mind. She was a top student from NOCA.
Whoa,
and she has a brilliant, brilliant mind. So I like Nati.
We've been following her for a minute, but what she did on the Sway in the Morning Show, I said, my
But that's what you have to do. Listen, whenever you go somewhere around the Northerners, you gotta shut them. You got to do
own that shit.
Man. You got to do your thing.
Yeah.
I met Sway. He was actually on the West Coast. He worked at KMEL in San Francisco.
Yeah, he was on the radio or something, huh?
Yeah.
That's where I first went and bust that rap right on him. And he was like, okay. So, and we was at South by Southwest, me and Gangsta Boo, 2011 maybe. And we went to the sneaker shop and vibed with him, and it was really good. But yeah, I told Nati, that's my only advice, is every time she picks up the mic and she is among people from elsewhere, it is to take no prisoners.
Right.
None. So that no one ever comes for her. And if you get on a mic and you do that, they will never come for you. As they came for all of each other and everybody else throughout my era, they did not come for me.
Listen, because I can say one thing.
They didn't.
Every time you
the
did
girls,
something, you held your own.
They
on that Party Won't Stop, and on, what song I fell in love with? It was a song with you, Mystical, and Fiend. And you done your thing, and Mystical came through and was saying, I'm the Mack truck ran over the.
Hot Boys and the Girls.
Yeah. And I was like, man, Mystical and Mia, if P could do it, he should have kept y'all happy any kind of way he wanted, and y'all could have the tank could have kept rolling and rolled over everybody. It could have been like Baghdad. He could have just kept rolling if he'd have just put all his energy into YouTube.
But you got to understand. I just think, No Limit. We moved 75 million records, and we were all young, and P was young too, so he still had his own dreams. And even though the record label was doing so well, a part of him still wanted to play basketball, and he tried out for the NBA, and he got in a couple of games. He wanted to do some things. But when you have a record label, it's like having a special needs baby for real. You got to give this baby your all, and you have to do everything you can to help your baby maintain. So you can't take your eye off your record company for a minute, because there's always other people just as hungry, and they are giving their baby the right amount of attention. And you can't assume just because you're doing well that it's going to stay that way. Right. You have to keep the concentration on the baby. But when you're young, because nobody was as young as him, nobody was on Fortune and Forbes at the same time in the same month, that will never be done no matter what. The things that he did is never going to happen again.
Oh, no.
And the powers that be made sure that it won't happen again, because nobody will never go into the game and have a national deal and it's 80-20.
Yeah,
the things he did, the gorilla pimp, was just right.
And that's the thing. We don't get our just due. And I say we, I'm saying from the South. Because before P did, made his mark, there was where it was born at on the East Coast, they was just taking what they was giving them. We came and showed you how to hustle. I mean,
yeah, James Prince, Lil J. I still say Lil J, but yeah, Lil J. He came in the game always owning his masters. 28 years ago, he was never under anybody. And 32 years before that, Luther Campbell, he owned his own masters too. And Skywalker Records, that was him. In the South, that's the way it's always been. To say that this is the place where slavery was and where our people were the most oppressed, we the first people to figure it out, that you got to own your land and own your car and own your record company. So people think that we're behind. It's not that we slow. We just peep it out a little longer so that we can know what to do.
Right.
But the guys in the South, you definitely have to salute the whole way hip-hop is laid out. And you have to start with Uncle Luke and then James Prince and Master P. And then if you really want to just talk about a woman's role in it, New York owes all of its love and credit to a woman, because Sylvia Rhone, that's who Sugar Hill Records was. That was a woman. So I mean, I just think that at the end of the day, when you have a record label, you have to treat it as such. And unfortunately, when you're young, you're going to want to do things. If you're a guy and you're not 35 and you have 500 million liquid dollars, you kind of feel like, well, I want to do this, and I want to do movies. And you kind of you start wanting to do little things. That's the human side. So I just look at it like, everybody was young. You can't do things perfect. I hope other black men and women learn from it so that they can really stay on top of their game and nurture their little baby called the record company.
Yeah, you gotta stay hungry. And that's one thing, like you see a person first album, and then you might look at the third one. You be like, it's okay. But that first, because they was real hungry and they was in it. And that's what I think he, like you said, you give me income tax and I'm balling. I get my income tax. I'm like, man, it's home. Where you want to go? But you give him that kind of money, and he wanted to live his dream.
Yeah.
And then that's around the time when you had, you know, your situation going on with your mom and your pops. And so I guess that him playing basketball, and then, you know, you had to deal with your family issues. And that's where that's when I think what I should say, like, the communications got fuzzy.
Yeah, because we had other people.
Right.
You know, the thing is, if you're playing basketball, then you have to put other people in place. And, you know, when you're used to everybody just being together, I mean, like, I understand now that I'm 46 that
for the record, you don't look 46.
artists other than Whitney and Monica, like, they hung out with Clive Davis, but other artists on Arista probably had never, ever, ever even met him. Well, it wasn't like that with us because we started the label together, so we were always together. But he had to put people in place while he went to do other things. I'm a creature of habit, and I like to be around people that I know, and I won't really deal with them, you know, on that level. Like maybe I would deal with him and some of the other people that I was used to. Mm-hmm. When my mom and them passed, they watched my children. I was gone all the time, maybe home 3 days out of a month for almost 6 years straight. So I had to be a mama because I'm the big sister. I don't have any brothers. I consider my cousin Corey my brother, but it was just me and my little sister who was in school and my grandparents who had gotten sick, especially sicker once my mom passed. So I had to do family stuff, you know, while P was doing basketball stuff and everybody else was doing whatever it was they were doing. So for me, I was good, you know. I was like, well, I can raise the children. I don't need to put no records out, no move. And if it comes back, it comes back. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But the important thing is to watch the children grow up because at the time they were little.
You mentioned Jay Prince and Luke and P, you know, the grind and stuff like that. Good Girl Gone Bad. Was that the era? I mean, not era, but was that the time you recorded in Houston or something like that? Because it did have a.
No, I recorded in California. I moved to California. So Good Girl Gone Bad, a lot of the production came from Al Eaton, who did a lot of Too Short's music, and K. Lou, who did a lot of Spice One and Mac Dre and E40 and the Click. KL came on the tail end of it because he was locked up. And I did my best on Good Girl Gone Bad. I knew lyrically it was hard as hell. But at the same time, I missed Southern producers. But, you know, I was living out there, and Percy had been living in Richmond, California for so long. So his music was really California influenced until I came. And then I was like, look, bruh, I need South beats because I'm South, and I love these producers. They so good, and I bought the records. Like, I bought so many Too Short records, and love Spice One, love Mac Dre, love E40 and the Click. But those people was working with people from where they was from, and so the vibe was what it was, you know. Whereas, too, I had been in the basement with KL for so many years till I needed my South sound. And I was so happy that by the time I got ready to do Unladylike, I had my South. I was like, oh, yeah.
You helped create that Beats by the Pound. I heard, because it was, what, 3 dudes in a broad or 3?
Well, no, see, three dudes in a broad was our house. Me, KL, Cuz, and Servon. We stayed in the house together. And, but Sir was a rapper. Cuz is Master P's cousin. And, you know, KL is KLC from the Parkway. But then I used to work with another guy named Odell. And so I brought him there because I wanted Percy to hear. Not only could he produce, but he was a great singer. And